Hello, it's Annalise. Thank you for watching. This is my third video. If you want to get this look, keep watching. Of course, my first thing, I go in with my dip brow in shade dark brown. Of course, you already know. Line the bottom, fill the middle, line the top. Then next we're gonna conceal. I do go in with a concealer that is drugstore makeup called Pro Conceal. I use this one just because it has a brush on it and it makes it a little bit easier to conceal. I don't use this often, but it's pretty good. I use the shade Tawny. And of course I'm going to go in and conceal my eyelids with the same e.l.f. concealer in the shade Medium Sand. And then same thing as always, I set my eyelid with a Park Avenue Princess contour palette and I let it sit for a few minutes, then I blend it out off my eyelid and wipe the excess. This is one of my favorite chapsticks. I highly recommend it. It does leave your lips a little extra pink sometimes, but it's such a good and hydrating chapstick. I bought it at CVS. It's really good. And then here I am wiping off the extra powder. I do use the palette Modern Renaissance from Anastasia Beverly Hills. That's kind of my favorite palette besides the Soft Glam. I do go in with the shade Buon Fresco, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of like a purple shade. It's a light purple shade. Then I do go in with Love Letter. That's actually one of my favorite shades. It's such a nice color. So with the eyeshadow, of course, I first use a brush that's a little harder just to set the colors into my crease, and then I start blending it out with my blending brush. The more and more that I use the blending brush, or each time that I pat onto my eye, I do add on a little bit more color just so I can make sure that it's sitting good and it's all blended out nicely. Okay, so after that, I use a different concealer. This is the third different concealer I've used in the video. It's just kind of funny. I do use a Sephora concealer in the shade Custard. It's a light concealer for me, like really light. It's one of the first ones I've bought, and I don't use it anymore. But I did decide to use it on top of the eyeshadow because I wanted to do a lighter look for the cut crease. Then next after that, I do kind of set it with the shade Tempera from the Modern Renaissance palette, and then after that I wet my brush a little bit and then I use this shade Vermeer. It's kind of like a light pink glittery look. You don't notice it as much because it's very natural glitter, but I like it because it's a nice shimmer when in the light or using flash, etc. Then of course I start blending in the Love Letter shade into the cut crease so I can make it look even, nice and blended out. And then I do, of course, use the concealer and I cut my eyeshadow, and then after I cut it, I blend it out a little bit just because I don't want the cut to be so sharp. Sometimes doing the sharp look does look really good though, depending on eyeliner that you use or the makeup. So I do go in with eyeliner, of course. Okay, and then after this, I do go in with all my regular face makeup into a full face of makeup. That was in my previous video if you want to check that out. I didn't want to put it in because it takes up a lot of time. This is mainly focused on the eyeshadow. Next, I go in with my favorite lashes. I haven't opened the package yet just because, you know, it's quarantine. I'm not really trying to use new lashes. They're not needed right now. But I do use Eyeliner London, the Wispy Light lashes. They are one of my favorite lashes and they're very natural. If you don't tend to use much mascara when putting on the lashes, they look even more natural. I've been asked many times if I've gotten eyelash extensions when wearing them, and those are when they're fresh out the box. One of my favorite lashes, very natural, but if the more and more mascara that you tend to add on, they look a little more dramatic, which is good too for my looks. As you can see, these lashes are used. I have used these multiple times before, so they look a little more dramatic than the ones in the box. And a quick little tip for people trying to start doing lashes. I get questions a lot. It's not that hard. Honestly, just let your lashes dry a little bit when you place the glue. Put it in the middle, make sure it sticks. If not, it's too wet, then you go in with the inner crease and the outer crease. And then I do go in with the Love Letter on my bottom lash line. I add gloss to the look. I wanted to keep it a little glittery, simple. Thank you for watching. Please like and share with your friends. Give me feedback. And thank you for supporting.